thought today was awesome. I'm so excited about it. Okay, 4.
1, 2, or 12, and then B5.
I don't remember the state of that last night.
BR 549.
I know our clock's a little fast.
I got a
And then A,
special
B, or C,
track.
depending
A
on
minute
which
away,
one.
according to
We have to call out A, B, or C.
Yeah.
See, this thing goes to sleep too easy.
Personnel.
Personnel. So it's A. All right, well, welcome everyone to the West Milton Council Workshop for August 26, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hurst,
Present.
Mr. Dorman, Ms. Metz. Here. Ms. Gregory. Here. Mr. Fogel, Mr. Sodders.
Here.
All right, first thing on the agenda is the right-of-way.
I will turn that over to Service Director Herron.
Thank you. Chapter 159 of the codified ordinances, we do have a right-of-way policy. I will tell you that I've also talked to a community member, Mr. Lanning. Mr. Lanning has actually been directly affected by the right-of-way, by right-of-way construction. When he bought his property and built a new house, Frontier had laid all their fiber lines and conduit right where his sidewalk was supposed to go, and they had handhold boxes right in the middle of where his sidewalk was supposed to go. And if we had something in place, then at least somebody would have been like out there, because I think at the time we had like 5 projects going on around town at the same time. We were trying to keep track of all of them, so it was next to impossible. And then with Frontier working out there, putting in conduit, I mean, I'm not going to say myself or Tim stopped and measured where their conduit was going in. However, if we were in a permit process where we were doing these things, it would have hopefully not happened. So I worked with Mr. Lanning through the process and his builder and Frontier to reach finally a solution. But he had to go through a lot to get it done properly, because his house was built higher than specifications asked for, and the same with his concrete and everything else. So he just wanted to make sure it was done right, but he wanted to make sure he was following all the city guidelines, but he also needed help with some other contractors. So I did ask him just to kind of take a look at what I had, like in case we were forgetting something. So Lene worked on this, basically highlighting the changes that I had written in. And so you'll see everything highlighted in yellow would be additions or omissions, that kind of thing. And then there's one thing that may be in your copies that I did that isn't in, or that should be in there. And that is that if 2 people, being the manager and the service director, or the manager and someone filling in for the service director, if the service director's out, if they both agreed that a contractor had done so much damage for repairs to a certain block of street or a certain street, that if the manager and service director concurred, they would have to pave the entire street. And these are more for your bare steel gas line replacements and things like that. That's one reason why we've held off on some of the streets, because we've kept in contact with Centerpoint, so we knew where they were going to be between now and 5 years from now, you know, going back to 2020. So that wasn't the problem. It's just we didn't want to redo a street and then have them come in and put a bunch of holes in it. So it's a very rare occurrence, but it's going to happen again someday when they upgrade something to where during the pre-construction meetings and prior, we can tell them, here's our right-of-way permit, this is what you need to do. And I see right here that you are going to change every service on the street. Knowing that, then you are going to be responsible to mill and pave the entire street. I wrote that in kind of a paragraph that kind of said what I just said, but knowing that our changes are in yellow. There's also that I wanted you, the council, to consider. And then anything that's not spoken for, because I'm sure I forgot something. I don't know, Manager Sheridan, if you saw anything, and Mr. Lanning, some of the things that you went through, I don't know if you saw anything.
No, if we would have had this when all this was going to happen with me, I think we would have been better covered. And I just think it was just a hindsight before, and what you got here, I think, for anybody from now on, it'll be good.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know, did I send you the permit forms too, or just the ordinance? Okay, because we have Manager Sheridan and Megan. We all had input, and they created the actual permit. So there's a permit draft, and there will be things that we can change on here. This was based off of our initial draft that Renee put together. So if you guys can, if you have a chance to look through it, if you see anything that you think that we forgot, but other than that, getting this implemented, like Manager Sheridan, when he first came, one of the things that he wanted to see was permits for things that we didn't have permits for, and so at the time we're due to our staff level, I mean, we tackled them as quickly as we could, and this one may not have seemed as important as the others, but in hindsight, it can be when you have residents being affected by these things. And the record, I could say the record amount of projects that have been going on the last 6 to 7 years, we have to have it on paper because we literally don't know. There's, like I said, there could be 5 or 6 projects larger going on at the same time. And if I have time, or Tim has time, or I can have somebody set aside time to go check these out, it's going to be, and then the contact information is the biggie, because right now it's a matter of me searching through thousands of OOPS tickets to see who was working where when, and then on the rare occasion that it's somebody that just comes in to do maybe a property work, they don't even call OOPS, so we don't even know that's going on. So that is pretty much all I had, just that maybe before the next meeting, if everybody could provide input on this, and then I can send the final draft to Lene, make sure everything looks good, and then hopefully by the next meeting or so, I'm not rushing it, we've waited a long time. I want to make sure that everything's in here, so we only have to do it once. So Manager, you can share your info with Manager Sheridan or with me directly, whatever is easier for everybody.
I concur with Ben's description. I think with the prevalence of so many subcontractors that companies are hiring, oftentimes the subs get in, get out before you know they've been there. So it's really important to have some documentation and something we can hold them to. I think it's important to remember it protects not only the village as a whole, but our individual residents. When they're working on one pole and tear up somebody's yard or cut a line, this gives us a little bit of teeth to deal with them.
Actually, too, I don't think I discussed this with you, but I called the city of Dayton, their building and inspection department, and I said, we're working on ours. How do you guys keep track of everything that's going on in the city of Dayton? I mean, so you guys have a lot more area, but more employees. We have a lot less area, but less employees. They actually do an air tag system where they have them drop an air tag in their work. And if there's a problem, they come by, they scan it, and all the information comes up so they know who to go to. I'm not saying we go to that extreme, but that was kind of like on the opposite extreme, because I called about 5 other communities, and most of them were right in line with what we have in front of you.
So I personally think any work should be permanent. Like, I have a Florida construction background, and when I moved back here, it's like the Wild West. Like, nothing needs permanent, and I think this is important. And also, like, it costs the village money. Like, it costs our residents money for people to come in and do construction work because they're paying your salaries. And you can't do a project and not involve the city in some way. So I feel like this is a good thing. Like, I don't think that we need Florida building codes, but like, I think that like, expressing that you're going to work and paying the cost of the staff to get that work done, because if I'm doing work at my house, like, I should be paying to get for that, I should be paying the cost for you to come out and check it or whatever you have to do. That's just my opinion. But I totally, like, am for these permits. Plus, if something happens, you know, you've got something to fall back on. So, like, you weren't doing this according to the permit.
So what you're saying is we should build in a fee structure for the
Yeah.
permit, and then however we would need to do that. I mean, let's just say job one, you go out there, it's super simple, it's all aerial, and you're out there for 5 minutes versus an underground project where you're back and forth 2 or 3 times a day or 2 or 3 times a week. So like some kind of structure. I mean, I don't feel like someone that's running aerial that you can pretty much base on a map and then just go visit them should have to pay as much as somebody that's underground boring that you're spending hours. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know how we could do
So it's
that.
based, so like, when I've done permitting in the past, not in Ohio, it's based on like the cost of the job. So it's a percentage of the job. So like, because, so, and I think that would make sense, like,
How does Dayton or some of the others do it? Like, do the other communities have that same like fee structure, and how do they
I
structure
don't
that?
have, that's what I don't have, is any other fee structures. I was not sure how we would want to do that, but I can certainly get some fee
that's a
structures.
good thing too.
Yeah, why reinvent the wheel, right?
Oh, 100%,
And then tweak it to what fits best for our community.
yeah. And then I've always had the experience where like if you do work unpermitted, like code enforcement busts you and the fees are double. Like if it's gonna be $1,000 permit, it's $2,000. I don't think these would be $1,000 permits, but
But it was a nice round number, right? It's
yes,
easy to work
round
with.
numbers are easy.
All right.
So we can discuss, I need to read back through to see what it says about that, but we can definitely discuss the non-permit fees, and then I will reach out to some other communities to see what their inspection fee structures are like, and I'll try to pick mostly towns and up 5,000 plus or minus to see what they're doing.
And I wonder what they do in Miami County, like they've gotta have, it's just Miami, like the county or
Mhm.
I think it's
Troy to-
$50.
for a right away permit?
I think the minimum permit's 50.
Oh, minimum permit fee. Well, that makes sense, because I mean, there's a level of work that has to be done on our end regardless. But I think it does make sense, like if it's a, you know, if it's a $500 job, $50 is 10% of the job. If it's I don't know that the permit should be 10%, that's pretty high.
Right.
And then where does that money go? What, is that gonna just flow into the general fund, or is that flowing into a different fund?
Good question. Wow. Definitely not a finance.
Depends on where you guys would want it to go, but it would be something we would ask Jill.
That makes sense. I thought about
Okay.
that. I just didn't express it. I don't know where to go.
Oh, you're good.
I will try to have this information just compiled before the packet Friday, so you guys can kind of see, hopefully by Friday, where we're at with these questions, and then if there's something else comes up, just let us know, and we'll get on it quickly so we can keep this moving.
Sounds good.
How many do you anticipate, like, how often is this happening? Once a week, once a month?
The permit?
Yeah,
So,
like-
I mean, we would get, we could average one a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
In the
mean,
construction
when it comes
season.
to, yeah, I mean, we could do, I mean, I would say weekly, we could do let's just say roughly 3 to 6 permits a week, maybe, something like that.
With the bulk of them fiber optic.
Yeah,
With all the fiber optic expansion, they were just going crazy everywhere. And they were some of the worst offenders of hiring subs that didn't do the job right, didn't clean up after themselves, and if you caught them doing it, not me, that's not my project.
That's why you get a permit to make them pay for it.
yep.
Who on staff would is gonna manage the administrative side, the paperwork side, just getting the paperwork, making sure it's filled out right, issuing the permit, that.
The
I'm
front
just
staff
curious,
would
is
do
that-
the permits, just like they do all the other permits, but we would all work together as we would on anything to make sure everybody's on the same page, and then it's kind of like, from there, it's who's available. If Manager Sheridan might be out, then I would sign things, and vice versa, so.
It works, we can make it work.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right, next is the Community Improvement Corporation.
I just wanted to give the council an update. I think in a previous meeting, I had informed you that the funds that the CIC has in a CD at Huntington Bank had been inactive for quite a period of time, such that the state was going to deem it an inactive account and pull the money back. I think the deadline sometime in September. So working with the branch manager here, found out what they would require, and I'd wanted to get the CIC reactivated anyway. I think it's a good tool for economic development, for revitalization. So I have from the branch manager what they would need, and basically just some meeting notes, and I need a new board. So I checked with Ms. Broche, and she laid out the details of how they're appointed. And I think if we can get that done before the middle of September, we won't have to fight with the state to get our $6,000 CD back.
All right.
Be glad to answer any questions.
Why, I'm thinking one more board of people. What is the point of one more board that this money can't be kind of incorporated into existing boards that are already doing community
If
improvement?
we get control of it and we don't have a value for the CIC, then I'd say we disband it and use the money somewhere else. I think it could have a purpose, but yes, it's going to take some people who are willing to man it. I've got the minutes. I've got one that was founded in 1966, so it's been around for a long time. It's been inactive for the last 6 or 7 years, and that's why the state's saying, well, if they don't exist, we'll just pull the money back. Every year I have to file the Hinkle reports, if you may recall. And it's not difficult, it's 4 or 5 pages, but it's basically just saying nothing's happened. The only transactions have been adding minuscule interest to a $6,000 CD. But it can be, you can use it as a land bank, as a holding company. It has a lot of authority separate from the village if you choose to. But I agree, I don't have a specific purpose to use them today, but I don't want to lose the village's money back to the state.
So how do we, who compiles that board?
Go ahead.
No. You guys would appoint the board. Typically, it's at least, in the past, usually it's been the mayor, it's been the manager. I usually attend the meetings too. I'm not really sure if I'm a board member, but I attend the meetings. And it's 40% is either on the board or appointed by the board. But if you guys want to get it moving, you guys could appoint the whole board. There's not a specific number of people that have to be on it. In the past, I'd say maybe 6 people were on it, 6 or 7 people. But if at the next council meeting, you guys can at least nominate some people so we can get some access to this bank account and get a board together, because what they're asking for is to appoint the board, have some minutes, and appoint somebody who can have access to this account, so.
So, there have to be residents of the village?
Yes.
So I guess just kind of going off what Casey said, because this was my instinctual thought, you said, well, we need a board. The comprehensive land use plan was started, the sheets I have are dated 2022, it's 2025, it's still not done. The reason that it's not done, from what I'm being told, is that It's because there's not enough members of the planning board. They can't show up to a meeting, they can't do this. So can we get that, saying we're not gonna do this anymore? We're gonna get this money back, we're gonna put it in a different fund and reallocate it towards like parks or sidewalk grant or whatever it is. Because it seems like getting a board together is like pulling teeth. And, I mean, I hate sounding that way, it's just, it's really difficult, there's just not, we're a small community and there's just not a lot of people, and if it is taking, I mean, there's, mid-September's in 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's taken, we're 3 years in to a comprehensive land use plan because we can't get a board of 4 or 5 people. So how, like, the logistics of it, I'm not trying, I sound pessimistic, but just the reality of it is like, who's gonna do the rushing around to find people to be on this board, to get them interviewed, to get them appointed, to do all that? Like, who's gonna?
At least 3 of it can be council members, right?
Correct.
Because 4 you'd have quorum, but, so 3 council members and then 1 or 2 other people,
Okay.
manager.
And then what does the CIC do?
Can do lots of things, I guess.
So what can it do?
I've not done it in Ohio, so I don't want to speak with any great authority. I just know it has flexibility. It's normally an economic development entity. Economic development or redevelopment, community redevelopment.
It can hold property, it can sell property, it can rent property, it can give loans out if that's possible, and they have the funds to do that. So it's a lot more flexible than what council can do. I think they're mainly used in larger cities because it's easier, but
How would it get the funds? Where do people, like, where do the funds come from into that?
that's the difficult part, yeah. And right off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you because we've never done it.
Jeff, do you know from the bank accounts the last time any money was added to it?
It was well before my time.
Or from those last minutes, like the intentions of the board?
I don't have minutes. The minutes I have go back to like 2009.
Does it talk about what they were doing?
They probably do. I'm sorry, I don't remember specifically. That was so long ago. I know she had some notes from a meeting with Mr. Klein, and he was here 10 years. So I can go back and pull that if you want to know more detail about what they were doing then.
Yeah, that was about the Mertenzia Springs. I don't know if you guys remember that, out on Horseshoe Bend
aquifer.
Road. Yeah.
The aquifer.
But they were trying to do some kind of development out there that fell through.
So
I forgot about that.
is it comparable to like the county land bank that can hold property?
It can hold property, but I don't think it has the same qualities as a land bank. But I'll,
So I guess, okay, and I don't know how this is gonna sound coming out, but this is like just my opinion. None of us know what it is. None of us know what it does. We can't get a board to do a comprehensive land use plan in a 3-year time span, and we're asking for 2 weeks to get a board together to do something that we don't know what it does.
Well, if you don't get the board together, you give the state of Ohio that $6,000. That's your choices.
So we can't, but then,
You can get the board together to dismantle the CIC.
Right.
That's the only
so
way
we
to
get the
rid
board
of it.
together, we just cancel the CIC. Okay, that seems reasonable. So
Right.
can we use people that are on like planning board?
You can use anybody, yeah.
Can council?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
just do
Yes.
it
Yeah.
as one
Just do
meeting
Yeah.
and disband it.
Okay, okay, so like 4 of us, you 2, well, Mr.
You
Sheridan.
would actually, it's kind of a process. You would actually have your first meeting to appoint somebody to handle the bank account, and once the bank account is done, then you can terminate. Does that make sense?
That
So we
makes
have to
sense,
have
because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Two.
I don't mean to sound, like, I feel like I sound really ugly, and I don't mean it this way, because I don't know what a CIC is either.
Sure.
I just don't know how we would get more money, and like, it sounds like a good thing, but I just don't know for our community how we would be funding.
I think it's a lot more when you're dealing with companies and you're renting and you're moving property. I think that's how you're building up your cash flow, and we don't have that at the moment, so.
Okay, I gotcha. I understand. I can't explain it, but I understand like what the CIC will, like if the city bought properties.
To rent. stuff.
Okay, I have
So
a
like with the
question.
cleaning
Yeah,
places, the CIC would manage that and take
Developing
that
an
rental
industrial
income.
park. The
and then use
CIC might
that-
oversee that project.
Well, should we keep it open and put the,
I think if, once we get control of the
Next
money, then you can
door.
decide. But you can even let it sit there for a while till you decide whether you want to keep it or let it go away.
Okay.
so let's appoint the board.
Can we appoint the board now?
No, because you're not in a regular session.
So we have to, so the
Put it
next
on the
meeting,
agenda
we
for the
have
regular
to
session.
appoint the
Yes,
board.
yes.
Right.
And they have to accept it, and then we have to have a meeting before the middle of September.
We can pull that together.
When
Yes.
did we find all this out?
I mean,
We
you
got a letter like
mentioned
a
it,
couple of weeks ago
yeah,
from the
last
state.
time.
Okay.
I thought you had said you signed whatever and they said it was good to go.
I signed, that wasn't enough. Well, what I was given was a process to try to get the money back from the state. And I went back to the branch manager, thought if we could just circumvent that and get them to recognize and let us keep the money as opposed to sending it back to the state. So that's what this is. This is what's required for the local branch manager to pull it off the file of inactive accounts. So we don't ever have to argue with the state about it.
To build the new Brown Stadium.
Correct.
I'm glad you
That's what she said. That's what he said. So there you go. That's why you don't want to give it back to the state.
Okay.
True day.
All right, next is the electrical aggregate program.
I just wanted to update everybody, as it was in my last report, that our aggregation has signed a new contract. The pricing is locked in at 0.0908 per kilowatt hour. After signing the contract, I believe it was a 3-year contract, according to Mr. Harmon, the rates did go up much higher. If they went up like gasoline, they went up quite a bit. But so we are locked in. I'm still waiting on the paperwork that tells me officially when the aggregate can kick back in and we'll start working on our behalf.
All right, sounds good. Next is the proposed sidewalk program.
Yes, Mayor, I just wanted to make sure we have what I thought was a proposed final draft, and I want to make sure that it is everything that you and the council want. So one last time to make any changes, and it would be on the agenda, if you so pleased, for the regular session later this month.
All right, sounds good. I believe this is up to date.
The only questions I had is what's highlighted in yellow.
Okay,
So you guys would just have to tell me what you want to do with those. And you can send me an email or whatever you need to do so I can finalize it.
all right, that works.
Can we just do it now?
Yeah.
That's right, I'm gonna pay their cost up front.
If it matters, Tom did walk in and
I
announced.
saw that.
How do we know they're able to pay?
How do we know what?
That they're able to pay up front? How did they prove that?
It would probably be part of the application program. Or application.
Like, how do you-
Just taking their word for it?
I guess, I don't know. Sign that check, I guess.
I guess I just assume that everybody would be able to pay up front. They're going to sign something because it doesn't start until they pay it. And I think there's a section in there that says if it's ready to go and they now don't have the money, then they get skipped and they go to the next person. So I didn't really see
Okay.
why that section was necessary for them to say if they had the money up front, they should have the money up front. So
All right,
Okay. So the issues like in yellow, is that what you have questions
Mhm,
about?
yeah.
Okay. How do we allocate the proper amount of funds so that we have enough money in the fund to provide the $50,000?
And those were questions that the mayor put in. I just figured you didn't want those in the section. They
No,
were
no,
kind of
right.
think out loud questions, so.
yep.
Don't we have like a budget line for 50,000 for the sidewalk grant program?
Yes.
Yeah, but let's say that some people were like, can you just put it on my taxes or whatever, and we agreed to that, then how much money would you have to have in? And then we're gonna have to probably pay, right, to be sure, even if unless they've already signed that check, and then,
Yeah.
that's just what I was thinking. It was like, is there a float of some sort that we'd have to allocate
Yes,
money for?
that is correct. That makes sense. You would.
So that's where that came from.
So would we adjust the 2025 budget?
Well, I don't
Or
know.
would we just do $25,000 increase this year, then we've got that buffer? I mean, it's not a lot, but
Thought you
it's
said they were.
almost September.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be November, maybe.
Then it goes on the next year's, or
Right, so
next
then it
year,
goes
right?
next year, we can put $100,000 in the budget and do the 50,000. So if next year
Or
it's,
if those people that signed up, if it's too late in the year,
We push them to
approve
next
those.
year.
Yeah, we're like, this
Yeah.
will start then, and then,
Can you clarify, is it your intent that someone can choose to participate and not have the money and it go on to their taxes?
it was one of the things that we kicked around at one
Well,
point.
I'm just trying to clarify
Yeah.
if that's your intention, or for them to participate, they have to have the money up front.
I think the ideal is preference will be given if they have the money up front.
So everybody who has up front goes first. If there's any money left and somebody's willing to voluntarily put it on the assessment, they can participate. Is that accurate?
I think so. Wasn't that part of the
Yeah.
point scoring
Yeah.
system? The people
Yeah.
who had the money up front were given a higher priority
Yeah,
than those who don't.
So that means they have to provide the money up front to prove they have it, and we score them, and then anybody that doesn't is
I mean,
left
they could get
over.
like a letter from their bank too.
Well, no, I didn't mean in cash necessarily, but they have to give proof that they have the
Yeah.
match, so to speak, up front, and then go forward. And if we have any money left over, that's anyone who applied but wasn't able to provide the money up front.
yeah. Well, and then, so the people will apply, right? And then we go, okay, well, these are the properties that scored the highest, but we don't know exactly how much it's going to cost to do that specific parcel's
Right.
sidewalks, right? I mean, so then we've got to come back with a number from whoever's bidding it out, I suppose. And
Right.
then those people, then we'd be able to go back to those people and be like, all right, now you need to write that check or whatever.
Or proof
Right.
that you have the, yeah.
Yeah.
How many homeowners you've done this a lot of years on sidewalks. How many homes do you think we could do with the 50,000?
I have the numbers down, but I don't have them in front of me.
Okay, that's fine.
Sure.
I mean, I think it's a manageable number. It's
Yeah,
not
I have
hundreds
it,
and hundreds
by
of
linear
homes,
feet.
right?
So like if, based on 100,000 at linear feet, I believe, because of
30 or
50-50,
35 and-
I don't want to even say,
Okay.
because it was so,
But I think it's a manageable number. It's not a
Yeah.
number so large that,
yeah, it's,
okay.
Why did I think like one, you said like one home maybe between like 5 to 7,000? Am I?
I mean, it could be.
I mean, everyone is different,
Yeah, I was
obviously.
gonna say, it just depends on how much sidewalk they
Yeah.
have. Okay. All right, if there's no other changes, that'll be on the agenda at the meeting later this month.
There were some other questions.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So how's the maximum amount of matched funds decided? It should be basically the same each year so that max isn't higher if fewer people apply one year versus the next. In my mind, like, figuring out the average, like, what's the average frontage on a, like, what's a non, like, how your lot is? Like, I have a corner lot, what do you have? Like a,
Just center of the,
just the center of the
yeah.
road lot, if that average cost, and I'm using easy numbers, not based on any data, but if that average cost is $10,000, then half would be 5,000. So we'll match up to, because I mean, there does have to be a point, because like, I understand corner lots are different because you've got 2 sidewalks, but like, if you've got a lot of frontage versus not as much frontage, like, there should be I mean, there has to be a maximum. And I don't know, like, my head, that maximum is 5,000, based on no reason other than that's what my head says. Probably because I've applied for grants and the max is $5,000 and you have to match it. But like, it could be, I think that there does need to be like we will match up to $5,000. But I don't know what the average cost of
Right.
a sidewalk island would be.
Right.
I know, because our goal is to get these taken care of
Yeah.
and not say, oh, we'll only match up to 4,000 and people are like, okay, then I'm not doing it. You know, like.
Yeah, because if it's $12,000 and we're gonna give them 4,000, I still have to pay $8,000, like,
Yeah.
I could go to Greece for that.
Do we put it kind of high-ish in this year till we see what it really comes back? Like we put the max at 10,000? I don't know, just because we don't know. And then the couple that we get this year, especially if we're doing 25,000 only, and see what their frontage is and how, I don't know. We can always deny them too. Like, I don't know, there's nothing in there
Or
that
push
says
until next year.
that we're not saying,
I mean, I feel like it makes more sense for us to not try to rush it. Cause like,
I think we need some real numbers. And then once we see those numbers, it'll paint that picture a little clearer for us. So,
that's what I think too, like if we, like would it be possible, Ben, to get like, I don't know that you have me do that. I don't want you to go out and measure every lot in West.
No, I can actually, I think, answer your question now. I just Google Earthed it, so basically, like, if you're on Main Street, every property is around 40 feet of sidewalk.
Okay.
But then if you shift over to like Norris Drive and areas that don't have sidewalk, you're closer to 75. So it's about between 40 and 75 linear feet. And then if I can find I typed something up, I think. If I can find that, then I can tell you pretty much, like, on today's average, how much that would be.
Per property.
Yeah. So you're working anywhere from 40 to 75, and like the chiefs brought up and we kind of discussed was the corner lot thing. I mean, if you've ever lived on a corner lot, our first house was a corner lot, and it was our first house, and within 2 months we were told we had to repair sidewalk, and you know, so it wasn't in front of our house, it was on the side of the house, just using that for an example. So somebody that invests in a corner lot, is there anything additional we can do for them? Mainly because when we get into the unsidewalked areas in Norris Drive areas, you were talking about a lot of sidewalk.
So maybe if we, like if we're gonna push this through this year, but like that could even be like, hey, like if somebody on a big corner lot, listen, like we're not trying to deny you, we're just still working through this process. Like we want you to apply next year and we can get them like at the top of the list or whatever, because living in a corner lot, it's literally like, it's double. So, and I mean, to me, that's 2 sidewalks.
Right, and actually, if you look at it this way, if I'm on Main Street and I have 40, but I'm on Norris on a corner lot, I've got 75 times 2. So I mean, that's,
And if they're paying
Yeah.
50%, like it's still double what somebody that's not on a corner lot is paying. So it's, I mean, it's still, like it's still costing them a lot.
right.
yeah. And then they would just dip twice, right? I mean, because technically it's like, well, except for on Dewar, there's a house that's like on one of the parts of the S curve there that it's got 2 front yards technically.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Right,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's a corner lot, but technically it's a corner lot because it has, well, 2 front yards.
Right.
So, I mean, we'd have to take that into consideration. And yeah, I think it should be one of those things where it's like, you know, your normal piece is this, but a corner lot would get twice that, right? So whatever the maximum
Yeah.
was, they could get twice that.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
That to me is fair.
yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, they're technically putting 2 sidewalks for everyone else's 1. So.
And quite frankly, like, if you own a corner lot or any lot and it doesn't have a sidewalk and you're not somebody that walks, it's not doing you anything, you know what I mean? So, I love sidewalks and I think they're important and they're good for our community and I use them and a lot of people use them, but like, I feel like saying, okay, you have a corner lot and this person has a 40-foot lot, and I know that you have 150 feet and they have 40, they're getting 5,000 and you're getting 5,000. Like that, and yours is 10,000 and theirs is 50,000. Like, there's not much incentive there to apply for a grant.
Right.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
Carry over money of the original 50K if all of the funds are not allocated in a calendar year should roll over to the next year.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
like
Talk
if
about
we
that,
have
yep.
50,000 this year, then we're gonna put 50,000 into it next year, then we use 10,000, then we'd have 90,000 next year, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then primary residence rentals get scored lower.
Primary rentals get scored lower.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought.
Primary residence, sorry, there was a dash in there in
Yeah.
in what I read. Rentals get scored lower, which I think that's fair too.
Yeah, even if it's only like one, right? I mean, just so that people
Right.
that live there, yeah. All right. Anything else?
Did you have any other questions? Lynette?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Some might come up, but at the moment, no, I don't have any.
All right.
Thank you.
So, is there any old business?
I put a copy of the vacant building registration in your packet in case you want to have any discussion on that.
I could just give an update. So the downtown, the retail strategies downtown portion, one of the things that they do is they work on vacant building registrations. I sent them this. Did you see it? I sent like a note that was like, basically, like, can you look at ours, see what we've got? We had I asked the question about if there's rentals, like if they're renting on top, but then the commercial space is empty, like what we do in that situation. Then I also asked about industrial because we do have some vacant industrial buildings. And I haven't heard back yet. I will. So that's just kind of where we're at with that. I just wanted to get like there to bring it back up.
I think that's smart.
I think that's going to be a big key factor in getting our downtown developed.
Yep. Agreed.
I have a question, old business. Ben, do you know? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just curious. The sign out front do you know when the new one is coming?
Good news.
I'm glad you brought that up.
There should be coming tomorrow.
Get out!
Yay! Is it going to be as bright as the churches?
Probably brighter.
We need
I'm
sunglasses.
No,
Probably not. But there's, they just called and Megan talked to them today.
Yep.
And they need some VPNs or web addresses that Mark will work with us on. But we should. I'd say in the next week or two, we should be good.
That's cool.
Fantastic. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Do we have an update on the bathrooms?
I do actually. So, if you want me to just tell you now, so like I've got the PO open to get all the utilities. We still have to pick that final exact footprint, but we're going to kind of base that on the possible future pavilion, and keeping the sledding hill open is of the utmost importance. So we're going to go ahead and get the utilities tied in and ready, and then probably mid to late fall get the pad prepped. And as of a week or two ago, the building was slated for very early spring. But the salesman with Norwalk Concrete Industries was having a little bit of hard time to get them to nail down an exact date due to orders and things of that nature. So I mean, my hope is that by next restroom season that it'll be open. Because the next year, we haven't even talked about the budget yet, but it involves, this is kind of to do with the park, but the downtown also. It would involve a Wi-Fi point from where we're putting the power behind at Hamilton and Washington, a Wi-Fi point to where we could not, one, have a public Wi-Fi downtown, but two, we could have Wi-Fi to cover all of our cameras. So we could have cameras besides the restroom, the veterans wall, the playground. We would have some cameras in other areas that we need some coverage in. So that's kind of all, it seems like a separate project, but I've kind of worked it together. So by summer, hopefully all of that is up and going. That's the plan.
That's amazing.
I had another question that just came to mind.
Wait, hold on. Is it about that?
No.
Okay, with that, with the utilities, I know I'd ask you this. That one light post on, going down the steps that's
Mhm.
on the right,
Yeah.
can that get taken out?
We will be able to move that pole. That way we can, if we move it, it'll kind of help with the night vision on the cameras and stuff. But, so it's mainly just a concrete pedestal, so it'll be putting in a new pedestal at a different location and moving the electric and the light. I can't tell you exactly the logistics of that, just because the pole's so tall.
Yeah.
But it can definitely be done. I talked to Steve when we were down there looking at some other things about that pole, so it can definitely be done. And then one other update, if you don't mind. Crosswalks, so the ADA ramps have all been poured on South Miami Street. Turned into be a bigger project because when ODOT put the sidewalks in, the grade was off, so we had to go back farther to make the grade right on proper ODOT spec. But that is done, and DAC Concrete did that project for us, and they did a wonderful job. And at the same time, they drilled down about 2.5, 3 feet and put in the pedestal column that'll hold the rapid flashers. The rapid flashers are scheduled to be delivered, all the signage for that project on Thursday. And then the thermal, I'm trying to get this thermal scheduled for mid to late September, which means that hopefully by the end of the month, those two crosswalks will be active. And then within a week or two from tomorrow, we will get the equipment in for the crosswalk at Hamilton and Miami. And it'll actually be, the 25-mile-an-hour blinker signs. I think the mayor talked about that. Instead of, since we can't have a center line marker because of the intersection, we decided to utilize the LED flashing signs. So those will be rapid flashers, which you want at a mid-block crosswalk. These will be a LED blinker sign that will bring attention to that busy corner that there's a crossing there. And it'll have the rest of the signage too. So that would be maybe into October. So hopefully by the end of October, we've got 3 new crosswalks, and we're meeting with ODOT. Next week, we have the first meeting in a phase of meetings for the systemic grant for the crosswalks out there. That's actually a huge project, 600-some-thousand. So we'll be meeting with them virtually next week to do our first step in that. So that's a little farther off, but we'll get Miami Street straightened out and trying to make our pedestrians more just make it walker friendly. And so yeah, pretty good
That's
news.
awesome. Yeah, thank you. That's all great.
Thank you, Ben.
Sorry,
So
where you
when
wanted
we're
to-
putting internet Wi-Fi down into the park, is it possible to take it down to like the Boy Scouts for cameras and then the Founders
Absolutely.
Cemetery
That's
also?
the plan.
Okay, awesome. That's great.
I don't know exactly, but I've got 2 companies, one we're using right now for all of our stuff. It actually, I know it sounds like that's 2 projects, but I'll lump in a 3rd project. We're working with the police department to add, not plate readers, but just CCTV for our intersections. That way, if there's a crime, they can watch the footage. So in that, if it works out, we'll have basically, without saying too much, strategically from the south end to the midsection, and then also some west that'll integrate with some cameras we already have. And so all of that, if you can turn all that into one project, I think we save a lot of money by doing it kind of all at the same time. But again, that's still we haven't really dug into that one yet. Yeah.
That's awesome. Ben, I just have a real quick question. I don't know if this is you, but when we did the budget, we talked about like a downtown sound system.
Mm-hmm.
Is that happening?
There's nothing in there right now that we've earmarked, but if we had
We put like
a Wi-Fi
8,000 in the
signal,
budget.
then it would be super simple. Like it'd be a small cap item. As long as you have a signal, you can get wireless speakers and boom. Because I will tell you what the biggest holdup has been is there's no signal, so you'd have to run a wired system. When you try to run a wired system through those conduits, I don't want to get started on the electric part, but that was state funding, and I did not get along with I've already told the manager that me and the minority contractor on that project had major problems together, but you can't squeeze anything through that conduit. And even though I had them put in strings, the string was too small, and you pull on it, and it just comes apart. So like, getting it through the current conduits is next to impossible. But if we get a wireless system, you're talking now with electronics, I don't know, $1,000 or something, put up speakers.
So when we do, because I think that's something I would still love to see happen, like when there was something going on in the park. I don't remember, but there was like music playing. It was so nice. And I thought about that, and then like, we're going to get speakers sometime. So maybe if we talk about that, like when we do budget, right? Like about getting like some Wi-Fi downtown or whatever.
Yeah. It'd be nice to work that in with the Wi-Fi because it allows you to open up fundings from multiple departments because it's really going to be serving multiple departments. So.
Were those lights downtown going to be changed out at any point?
There may be new, you're talking about the street lights themselves? Not, I mean, I could see maybe the fixtures, but not the poles probably.
Well, remember, the streetlights in downtown are one portion of the CDBG, where we would get new streetlights for 2 blocks, and
All
then
right.
move the others somewhere else in town.
And
If that's
at that
funded.
point, we could put in wired system, right? Like if we were replacing those, we could put in a
Yes.
wired system
Yeah.
because
Yes.
a wired
That would
system's
work.
going to have less interference,
Yeah.
more security because
Sure.
someone's not going to be able to, intercept
Yeah.
and man in the middle of you. So,
Oh, good thinking. I'm
Hopefully
like, wow,
we'll-
this is easier. Use
That's
Bluetooth.
a much better idea. It's just,
it was Tom's. Just
well,
hi, Tom.
he's right, and I mean, he probably mentioned this too, I really didn't mention this, but with all the wires that are crammed together and any wire missing, shielding and stuff is probably gonna affect them too, even a hard wire. So like if you can put
Yep.
in new wire, new conduit, that takes that whole problem away, so.
Yep. I agree.
Okay. So maybe just be patient on the speakers.
It can
All right.
definitely happen if that portion of the project happens.
We should hear by the end of October on the CDBG funding.
All right. Cool.
And they can add festoon lighting with that.
Yes.
That's what I
Amazing.
heard.
I heard that too, in the budget.
You control the budget, so that's,
All right. Is there any other old business?
So, retail strategies. We had did I talk about the downtown
That's
kickoff
new
meeting
business.
already? I did. It's new business? Never mind.
go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead,
all right.
go ahead.
So
Is
if there's
there
no more
any-
old business, any new business?
There's new business. I've been waiting all day for this. So we met with the retail portion of downtown, of retail strategies, not downtown. So we have 2 contracts with retail strategies. There's the downtown contract, and then we're calling it the retail contract. And the retail is really dealing with national companies, whether it be a daycare, a hair cutting place, someplace like Aspen Dental, or a food. It's not just food, right? It's just these big retail chain companies. Services, that word. So we met with them today, and then we met with Ron Kaufman, and then a commercial realtor from Troy. And it was just, I think it was a really good conversation. We took a tour of like the area. They highlighted, like, they saw the waterfall, which is a huge asset to our community. And I just feel like they wanted to get feet on the ground to see like exactly what they're dealing with, and I feel really good about it. They have an event in October, it's the ICSC Midwest event that they're going to, and that's going to have all these retail companies there that they'll schedule meetings for. I will not tell you anything about anybody that we're getting until I have a ribbon cutting for them, because things change, so I don't know. But I feel really excited. And then like our realtor, his name's Scott Strayer, he's awesome, and he had some really good ideas, and he has talked to Ron Kaufman in the past. So I feel like it seems like we're moving in the right direction and we're getting progress. As we know things and things get concrete, we will update, I assume. So, yeah.
That's cool.
All right, thank you. That was a great update. Any other new business?
Oh, can I also just say Rock the Hill was awesome? This old business. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll make it new business this time.
Okay. Rock the Hill was great. I don't know how many people were there, but I just want to say thank you so much to the staff of West Milton. You guys did an incredible job, and those events don't happen without the hard work of you guys. I mean, I cannot thank Ben and his team and Chief Wright and his team enough for all the help they did, so thank you for that. And that's all. I'm done. I'll quit talking.
All right. So are there any motions?
My motion to adjourn.
I
Oh, no, I
Second.
motion. Sorry, my bad.
I make a motion to enter into executive session.
Second. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, all right.
I'm sorry.
Roll call.
Mr. Dorman? Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Mr. Fogel? Mr. Sodders?
Yes.
Mayor Hurst?
Yes. All right, we're going to adjourn into executive session, and there will be no more business conducted by council when we return, except for to close the meeting down. So, thank you everyone for attending and coming and watching on TV. Thanks a lot.